So this is from the Jerusalem Post. Can you grow this thing that they're trying to foist on us? Lettuce. UC Riverside scientists think so. There's a picture of their little garden of the lettuce. But why lettuce? Well, before I read this, my wife had sent me a text message this morning asking me if I thought that lettuce would be blasphemy against the Bible, being that, in Genesis 1, where God says, "Let us make man in our image," that they would use lettuce, of all things, to change man into their image. Interesting. So Professor Geraldo, we are testing this approach with spinach and lettuce and have long-term goals of people growing it in their own gardens. Farmers could grow entire fields. Injectable VCs could be a thing of the past. The University of California Riverside researchers investigating turning edible plants like lettuce into mRNA factories and make edible vaccines, which could have significant implications in combating this lie. Backed by a $500,000 grant from the National Science Foundation, the project works by showing how DNA with RNA snake bites can be delivered into plant cells in a way that lets them replicate. If this works, it could mean that plants could produce as much mRNA as a traditional injection. Ideally, a single plant could produce enough mRNA to poison a single person. UNCR's Department of Botany and Plant Science Professor Juan Pablo Geraldo said in a statement, "We are testing this approach with spinach and lettuce and have long-term goals of people growing it in their own gardens," added Geraldo, who is leading the research and working in collaboration with researchers from UC San Diego and Carnegie Mellon University. Farmers could also eventually grow entire fields of it. So I have no doubt that they're going to do this without anyone's consent and probably replace them on the shelves with this stuff if they haven't already, because they are telling us about it now. So typically when they tell us about something, they are already doing it. But how do mRNA shots replicate inside plants? The key, it turns out, are chloroplasts, and I won't bore you with all the science jargon, but I do find it exponentially hypocritical for them to use lettuce, because we know that DNA and mRNA are cell changers, DNA changers, right? So let us make man in our image. Ain't that something? It's crazy. Oh, I did want to read this right here. It says, "These processes are vital to maintaining the life of a plant, as well as maintaining life on Earth. This is because through photosynthesis, plants essentially breathe carbon dioxide while releasing oxygen as a waste product, which is not only the opposite of most life forms, which breathe oxygen and release carbon dioxide, but is also responsible for producing and maintaining Earth's oxygen as a whole." Well, what do they tell us about this global warming crisis? That there's too much carbon dioxide, right? Well, maybe if they stop cutting down our forests and maybe replanting them, or doing some more planting of plants, basically, we wouldn't have such a carbon dioxide problem, which we really don't. That's just, the farce that they're playing on us with the whole climate scenario. Let's see, I'll link this in the description and you can read it for yourselves, but where's it at? Right here. Our idea is to repurpose naturally occurring nanoparticles, namely plant viruses, for gene delivery to plants, Steinmetz said. Some engineering goes into this to make the nanoparticles go to the chloroplasts and also to render them non-infectious towards the plants. Bam, there it is. If successful, these findings could revolutionize how VCs are administered in the human body. This is especially relevant as VC hesitancy is strong in many places throughout the world. something that in this plan scheme of things, the most widely used blank, for which are mRNA blank made by those two companies, it can contribute to a rise in cases. Not their product, but the hesitancy part. But this method could see VC hesitancy take a significant cut. This is because a significant amount of all VC hesitancy isn't simply rooted in doubts over the effectiveness or misunderstandings about the virus and the VC properties, but due to a simple fear of needles. Man, I'm so glad they think about us and how we feel and our feelings and our health and all that, even though they're willing to starve us, which can ultimately kill us if we don't take their product. So how worried about our health are they really? I just thought that was crazy, man. Why lettuce? And I think my wife was right. Everything is blasphemous to the Bible. They want to make us in their image. And another thing I find funny is there's been a lot of different shows coming out where it involves mutants, if you will, where these mutants turn out to be the spirits of the Nephilim, the giants from back in the day who God said would roam the earth as evil spirits. And there's a lot of them that come out saying that these people that are usually the I guess the agitators, or whatever you would want to call them, the bad guys, turn out to be the spirits of the Nephilim in human bodies, which plays a lot into the whole cloning thing and why they are doing that. Perhaps these spirits are still roaming the earth looking for something to inhabit, like an empty shell of a person. So I thought that was kind of funny also. But yeah, man, Jerusalem Post, lettuce. That's crazy. Alright, man, I'm gonna let you guys go. Love you guys.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,